Gopala Astrology Channel, where the science meets astrology for common man's understanding. Subscribe and stay tuned to this channel for continued astrological updates. Hello, welcome to Gopala Astrology Channel. And today it is going to be a very interesting celebrities video. It's for Princess of Wales, Diana. Okay, it has been 25 years since she passed away, and I'm making this video purely from the educational point of view. I want to amalgamate the classical astrology with the modern astrological sciences introduced by Greenstone Lobo, right? So let's try to amalgamate both of them and try to understand her life story in a very simple and brief way, and see the role of outer planets in her horoscope. All right, so please stick on to this video. If you are new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also press the bell icon. Do not forget that, so that whenever I put on the new videos, you will get an activation. All right, so let's go to the actual video, my friends. Friends, this video will be focusing technically on the life story of Diana in a very brief way, but we will try to touch upon the concept of grey lizard avatar of Pluto, right? So especially the people born between 1959 to 1961, towards the fag end of 1961, I can say easily, the Pluto's position was in the zodiac sign of Leo, wherein it was between, say, for example, 10 degrees to 22 degrees. So that is the time when most of the unfortunate people of this planet are born, right? So the people who are born in this grey lizard patch are bound to go to the zenith of their career in one way or the other, and then they will have an abrupt fall. Okay, we can see several examples of grey lizard avatar of the life history of, for example, Michael Jackson, life history of Diego Maradona, okay, Diana herself, which we are going to talk today, and if you are familiar with Bollywood actor Sanjay Dutt, and so on and so forth. The people, and even a big industrialist who became a millionaire and a billionaire, the Ambani's brother, the Anil Ambani. Right, so all these people had the grey lizard avatar of Pluto. So that is one of the important focus of today's video. All right, so let's try to understand a little bit more about Diana and her details of birth. Okay, she was a very young princess. She was born in a normal, simple family of Spencer. Okay, John Spencer was the father, and mother was Frances Roche, and she was born in Sandringham of United Kingdom on the 1st of July 1961. So she was known as Lady Diana Spencer after a while when she was in her parents' place. Okay, unfortunately, the parents had to separate out, and later on in 1969, and which was really very hard for Diana and her siblings to carry on because of being brought up by a single parent, right? So she did not have a very good or a royal kind of childhood. It was a very simple, normal family. All right, so that's what we can take it from the textbooks of the history. In 1969, she was very fashionable girl. She used to be ahead of her time in terms of dressing and patterns and things like that. So we are going to see this in the horoscope later on. All right, so there are so many stories here, and then I thought of putting this slide because in 1969, Diana attended the wedding anniversary of her grandparents. Okay, Albert Spencer and Cynthia Spencer really celebrated 50 years of marriage, right? So surprisingly, grandparents had a very good marriage, whereas her parents had suffered divorce. So that means from the young childhood, Diana already was in need of a love from her parents, which she was really missing. All right, she had a brother anyway with her, and things like that. Now, in the year 1975, when Princess Diana's grandfather died, her father inherited some portion of earldom, and then she moved to the Althorpe House located in Northamptonshire of England. Okay, Diana officially became Lady Diana Spencer by then. So 1975 onwards, she started getting more brighter spot in her life. I can easily say that. All right. So she got certain titles from here on. Then in 1980, already she had been dating Prince Charles, and she got back to London and started working as a nanny in the kindergarten. Okay, she was very fond of kids, and she was really very much into making the kids study, work, and take care of them. And she was a nursery assistant. So that's the thing. And then she continued to work, and she dated Prince Charles by then. Okay, the cameraman, the paparazzis were always behind her because she had the most photogenic face in the world, I can tell you. Right. So now, 1981, really, she got into an engagement, and the famous sapphire ring of Diana. It's a very well known history, and then this was given to later Kate, the Duchess of Cambridge. Right now, it is in her possession. Right. So the engagement happened in the early part of 1981, and really, the royal wedding of the century. Okay, it really happened on July the 29th, 1981. So this was the beautiful bride, Diana, who came like a fairy Cinderella, and this was the most watched event in the television of the time. In the 1981, the TV was really new into the world, and you can imagine all over the world, including the people who attended the wedding practically there, also adds up to 750 million. So this is a huge number. 750 million people watched the royal wedding of Diana. So this must have been a very special day. I'm going to show her a chart on that day, what happened. Okay, we will all discuss these points astrologically from our educational point of view. Now, she became the mother of two by the 1985. Both the prince were born there, and then William and Harry were brought up by her personally. She used to take care of them. She even wanted to change the way the princess goes to the school. They were given the public school, and she used to go and drop them to the school and all that. So she was trying to break the taboos of the royal family, right? So this was not in the protocol of the royal family at all, and she totally changed it, right? She wanted her kids to enjoy all those normal man's role in the society. All right. So in 1999, actually, 2 years later after her death, she was declared, and she was told that she has been appearing in the Times magazine, the 100 most important people of the 20th century. So she was given the title after 2 years of her death. So this was one of the outstanding achievements, and that the Princess of Wales achieved it. That's all I can say. And there are so many. If you just open the history books, you can see her achievements. She was known as the princess of the people. She was very humble, and she even she did a lot of charity work. She realized that her presence will bring in a lot of attention of the media and all that, and she started collecting money for the charity and helped many of the people from the Commonwealth countries. Okay, so this is I don't want to go into the full details of it, but still you can see her achievements have been tremendous in a short period of time. Normally, these gray lizard Pluto people, they will achieve a lot of stuff. All right, so they will have an accelerated career in a short span of time, and that's what the gray lizard avatar of Pluto did for her. So let's go into the classical astrological chart of Diana. Right. So the date of birth I have taken from the most reliable source. I guess this is the correct one. July 1st, 1961, and it is 5:45 p.m. in the evening, and she was born in Sandy Graham, and then this is in United Kingdom. So from all these things, she was born in Scorpio ascendant, and you can see the Scorpio in classical astrology is still ruled by Mars, right? So let's understand classical astrological point of view. She has seventh lord in the seventh house, and it's a beautiful Venus there, and it's also the 12th lord. So the 12th lord has a connection with the seventh house. So you can always see 12th house is the house of losses, and then seventh house, is marriage or partnership. So she's going to have the loss of partnership, the loss of marriage, right? So it's very clearly indicative that even though the Venus is the most beautiful planet which gives the marriage, successful marriage, but from her horoscope point of view, it is the lord of 12th house, right? So that is very, very important. So that is one of the things, key points that we can note down. And I have also studied her Bhava Chalita chart. That means when you click on this option in Bhava Chalita chart, since her ascendant is at 2 degrees, it's in the first half of the Bhava. So most of our planets are also is in the first half. So the Bhava Chalita chart doesn't change for Princess Diana, right? So we can consider this Rashi chart itself very accurate. Okay, and you can see the debilitated Jupiter there. Jupiter always represents husband in females' charts, and it is debilitated, and it's also retrograde, which is conjoined with Saturn. So this is also an indicative of failure in the marriage, right? So many things are indicative here. And then she has 4th house Ketu. So let's try to put some more light on the chart that Greenstone Lobo has given, and try to notice what is this gray lizard avatar. So the Leo is the highest exaltation point for Pluto there, and then between 10 degrees, of course, 0 to 2, or I can say easily 2 to 10 degrees is the eagle avatar of Pluto, which is very, very good. Okay, people born in this time frame are going to achieve one of the highest realms of their career. All right, whereas the people born between 10 degrees and 24 degrees, this is where the gray lizard patch of Leo of Pluto came into picture. So please note down this, and then I'm going to go into the actual horoscope of Diana, and look at the position of Pluto. Pluto is at 12 degrees 43 minutes of Leo, and that is what is it's written in the box form here, and this is the gray lizard avatar of Pluto. So what is this gray lizard avatar of Pluto doing to her? It's her Lagna Lord, it is her ascendant Lord, right? So look at what is happening there. So the Lagna Lord goes and sits in the 11th house, and 11th Lord, which is planet Z, goes and sits in the house of spouse or the partnership or other people, right? So this is what made this particular planet Z was really making Diana the most popular person in the royal family at that point of time. So whoever went to see the royal family when she was there, everybody was first seeing Diana, and then later they saw others. So that much attractive face she had because of this planet Z sitting in the exaltation point there in Taurus, and then it is in the 7th house for Diana, and it is accelerating. It is actually, I can say, it is what gave her the royal wedding. And then look at what is planet X doing for her. The 7th lord goes to the 8th house of inheritance. So she inherited a lot of wealth from royal family, and that's what it is. So she was born in a very simple family, basically. From her parents' point of view, you can always see what is happening to the mother moon. It is engulfed in the axis of Rahu Ketu, and Pluto aspects the moon, and stuffs like that. And then Ketu there in the 4th house of her domestic happiness. So all these things made problems for her mother. And also look at the father. Father is represented by Surya, the sun, and the sun is in the 8th house, and it's in red. It's in the fall house, and so there was not much of understanding between her parents, sun and moon, basically. and then they had to separate. So she was not having a very good childhood, right? So that's what you can clearly see there. Even the father's created family is seen by second house of Sagittarius. The ruler of that gets debilitated. Jupiter is only doing is not doing good things only in Capricorn zodiac sign, unfortunately, and that is what is in the horoscope of Diana, and it is a retrograde Jupiter. So that is there, and the Mercury also is in retrograde 8th house. So all these good planets are not in a proper shape for her. Okay, even though she was a celebrity, and she really became world famous because of this planet Z in the 7th house. Okay, and look at what is happening to her 5th house. 5th house is the house of love and romance. Her love and romance to Prince Charles was very divine, very spiritual love, I can say. She had completely surrendered to him. But unfortunately, look at what is happening to her 5th lord, Neptune. So it shows exuberant love from her to her spouse, but the spouse really did not value her love, because you can see the loss of love is seen by 12th house placement of Neptune. It's still exalted, but it is in the 12th house of losses. Okay, and that's all. 12th house of foreign lands, and she started seeking love from the foreign countries, right? So that's what it is. She really did not. She lacked this love and affection which she desperately needed, actually, and she was showing this to everyone, but she herself could not get it. All right, so that is the thing. So we analyzed her basic planets, and look at Saturn. Saturn in the third house, third lord in the third house, exalted, gave her a lot of talent. Her communication skills were good. She was able to communicate to the world very well, and she was working very hard. Towards the end, before she died, she did a lot of things. In just a span of 4 to 5 years, she did many things which people cannot accomplish even in 25, 30 years of their life. And that's what she did it with Saturn very positive in her horoscope. And that's why the blue sapphire, that particular ring, is related to Saturn, which brought her a lot of luck. All right. So the next part I wanted to talk about is her Pluto itself one more time. So the Pluto is placed in the 10th house of karma. So Lagna Lord itself goes and sits in the house of karma, or the work or the profession, right? So she took on her own volunteer work. She did a lot of work. This Pluto made her work very hard, and she traveled around, and she got name and fame because of that karmic activity that she did, until a certain time came. And I'm going to show in a couple of slides what exactly happened and what brought her the zenith of her life and what really pulled her down to the death. All right, so let's try to analyze one more slide here. This is the slide of 29 July 1981 on the wedding day of Princess Diana. And the wedding day itself, if you just plot the chart, I saw that the wedding happened at 7:45 a.m. in the morning in London. And here, where the Lagna or the ascendant on that time on the day was also Leo. So she got wedded on the ascendant sign of Leo, and look at what happened to the Pluto. Pluto gave her the family, second house. It is still the green Pluto in Virgo zodiac sign, right? So she got married, and what else happened? Look at the outer planets. The outer planets, the 12th Lord sits in the 9th house. So this marriage gave her a lot of journey chances. It is connecting the 12th and 9th, and the 12th Lord goes into the exaltation in the 9th house, which is good, right? And then look at the love. So, which is supposed to be her true 5th Lord, Neptune, comes and sits in the dream place of 5th house again, and again it's in an exaltation position. So this made Prince Charles to make a decision to marry Princess Diana, right? So the Neptune is very well placed in the 5th house, and Jupiter, the 5th Lord, sitting in the 2nd house of family, gave her a beautiful royal family. So you can assess this in this way, right? So whatever we are talking about the outer planets, we don't have the dasha antardasha concepts for it. We have to go by the gocharapalam or the transit results. So when this beautiful combination happened, she got the royal wedding done. And look at the Mercury 11th lord in the 11th house, the incoming gains are good. And planet Y, the second lord, sits in the 11th house, which gave her enormous amount of wealth, right? So all the outer planets are in green for her in this point of time, except planet X. Okay, so 10th lord in the first house, it's in deepest, it's in the weakest position, right? Because opposite to that is Aquarius, where planet X becomes very powerful. But in this point of time, it was weak, it was red for her. So there was certain things getting plotted in her life. She was not knowing that. All right. So again, you can see the red Saturn and slowly the planet Z also getting into red. So people, you can assess the same horoscope on the classical astrology point of view. So she was going through the Rahu Mahadasha, right? So it was Rahu Mahadasha and the Pratyantara Dasha. If you go into the details of Pratyantara Dasha, it was Venus, which was running between 1981. Especially, this is the Sukshma Pratyantara Dasha, wherein the Venus was there very much on the wedding day, right? This is between 9th of May 1981 up to 11th of August 1981. So in this period, the Venus is the one which gave her the royal wedding, right? So even the classical astrology matches. And now the fall of Diana, what happened to her on the 31st August night, right? Early morning of 31st August and midnight of 30th August. So she got killed in a car accident. What happened, who was behind it, all those conspiracy theories I'm not interested to go into. But really, the most valuable person of the royal family died. That's what is significant here. On the death day of Diana, especially, she was pronounced dead officially by the doctor at 4 a.m. in the morning, 4:57 a.m. in the morning. Look at the planetary positions at that time. So she actually had an accident when the Lagna, the ascendant, was much here. She almost survived for 3 to 4 hours before she was declared dead. So the accident must have happened when the ascendant of Gemini was going on, wherein the Ketu was there and Rahu. This is the Rahu-Ketu axis, and this is the death, right? So really, she was injured. The bodily injury came when the Ketu was there, right there in the ascendant. It was a very bad ascendant that was running in Paris at that point of time. So you can see what happened. And later, when she was pronounced dead, the ascendant moved into it moved into Cancer. And from this point of view, look at the positions. The Pluto just entered her first house, original first house. Scorpio was her ascendant, right? So the Pluto is hitting her back. And the Pluto is the nascent Pluto. You can see here just less than a degree for making less than 1 degree. It is just 59 minutes. So 1 minute less than a degree in which the Pluto becomes very powerful, actually. So it pounced on her and then killed her, actually. So this is the grey lizard avatar in its peak. So Pluto entering the nascent house, and it's reaching its own house, of course, but it took her life, right? So look at the other planet. Saturn was right there in the 7th house. It is the Saturn return for her, right? So Saturn return happens once every 30 years and plus, of course. And Saturn was right there in the 7th house. And then look at the Ketu. Ketu is all about, giving separation. So she was separated from planet Earth in the foreign land. Of course, France is a foreign land for her. So she died in a foreign land, and it was a very unfortunate death for the princess. All right, so grey lizard avatar, and of course she became more famous even after her death. So her death procession and all the funeral activities was highly watched throughout the world. It was a live telecast throughout the world. And that's what is planet Z doing here, sitting in the Libra. All right. So what else we can talk about? Coming into the actual classical astrological chart, when you go into the, Mahadasha, Antaradasha, Pratyantaradasha, and onto the exact death day and even the time, I have put it as 9:24, between 9:24 and 1:20 early morning of 31st August 1997, you can see the Ketu was predominantly present in that particular time period of Diana. So this is very, very evident that it took her life out. So in a nutshell, before I close down, I would like to just show you her horoscope, and we can just summarize what are the best planets in her horoscope and what is that she got into. Right, so let's see. This is the overall horoscope of Diana, and you can see the ascendant is Scorpio. The ruler is sitting in the gray lizard avatar in the Leo zodiac sign, which is really testing her. So that means she will have a very parabolic type of life. She will get into the highest peak, and then she will suffer a lot, and then she will have a downfall. Right, so that's it. So gray lizard avatar of Pluto always accelerates the karmic backlogs, payment of the karmic backlogs, and that's what happened to Diana. And then she fell in love with a royal person, and the fifth lord Neptune comes and sits in the house of losses. So whatever love she gave ended up as a loss for her. And then even the 12th lord, the lord of losses, goes and sits in the 7th house. Okay, but she gained a lot of wealth and name and fame through planet X, which is the 7th lord sitting in the 8th house. There is a gain of 7th house, which is the 8th house, and the planet X gave her a lot of wealth. That is, the Kuvera gave her a lot of wealth and name and fame again. Okay, so the name and fame from her karmic activity, the 10th lord, the Cupid or the Manmata, planet Z, sits in the 7th house of others, and that is what gave her full name and fame. In a very short span of time, she became world famous personality. Okay, very magnanimous personality. That is what is planet Z doing in her horoscope, and she was extremely kind to the world. She was like a mother for everyone. That is where it is planet Moon in the 4th house. Chiron, which is a healer, goes and sits in the house of her heart. 4th house represents her heart. She was a very kind person, and even the day-to-day routine activities. The 11th lord, planet Y, also sits in her 4th house of heart. She was very, very kind, and she was routinely doing great jobs that that shows that she's a very, very good human being. Okay, and she was very good in communication. Saturn in the 3rd house gave her good communication. The family life was spoiled because Jupiter, which is the 2nd lord, goes and sits in the 3rd house of debilitation. So I think this particular slide shows everything about her life, and outer planets really indicates, when you study in detail, you will understand that outer planets give a lot of meaning. All right, so with this we come to the end of the video. If you have any questions, please type it in the comment section. I will be very glad to answer your questions. All right, thank you. Bye bye.